It's been a while, so let's do a quick recap. With Goten and Trunks now in Class 1A, the quirk apprehension test goes very differently. With Trunks ending up in first place, Goten in second place, Bakugo placing ahead of Todoroki, this time in 4th place, Tokoyami is in 7th place, and everyone moves down one spot. This is due to Midoriya actually placing 11th place this time around instead of last place. This is because due to some key training he had with Goten, he was able to receive 1 for all earlier and therefore has more experience with using 1 for all, allowing him to ace some of the tests in the quirk apprehension test. Meanwhile, Mineta is actually not in Class 1A due to him being displaced by Goten and Trunks. So we move forward, where Midoriya actually continues to make friends with Uraoka and Tenya Lida as usual. Except this time around, Goten and Trunks actually butt in as well. So now instead of a 3-person group, we have a 5-person group. We move on into the battle trial arc, and things go very differently this time around. Midoriya faces off against Bakugo as usual. However, after Bakugo saw Midoriya's progress beforehand, he had already started training even more intensely than before. Therefore, he had more experience than Midoriya, even though Midoriya could actually use 1 for all at 3% at this time. So, Bakugo easily manages to apprehend Midoriya and win the fights. Uraoka stands no chance against Tenya Lida without Midoriya's help, and Bakugo actually supports Tenya Lida as well, apprehending Uraoka altogether. This leads to an utter victory for Bakugo. And we continue on into the USJ arc. So, as usual, 13 teaches the class. However, the class is disrupted by the League of Villains led by Tomura Shigaraki. Goten and Trunks, instead of being scared, they're actually excited. These were the first villains they were going to fight in this universe. And of course, we all know how strong Goten and Trunks are. As Kurogiri surrounds Class 1A, Goten and Trunks end up getting separated, with Trunks actually ending up in Mineta's position with Midoriya and Sui in the flood zone, while Goten actually ends up together with Todoroki in the wasteland zone. Now we move into the video. Let's get straight into it. Most of the events in the USJ arc proceed as normal, with 13 facing off against Kurogiri. As we all know, Kurogiri has many tricks up his sleeve, and 13 is not a combat fighter. So Kurogiri uses 13's own quirk against 13, causing 13 to be gravely injured and at the brink of death. So we move back into the flooded zone, and with Trunks aiding Sui and Midoriya here is not even a challenge. Trunks is simply too strong. So Trunks just ends up flying around, knocking all the villains, and it's just that simple. Trunks is too strong. So we move over to the wasteland zone. In the original canon of events, Todoroki was already dominating the villains here, and with Goten there, it's even more of a wash. Todoroki just freezes all the villains, Goten takes care of the remaining villains, and honestly, Goten is actually pretty impressed with Todoroki. And honestly, Todoroki is also pretty impressed with Goten, though he doesn't really say that out loud. Goten was really strong, he could tell, and he could tell that Goten had a lot of combat experience as well. And then we move off into the zone where Bakugo and Kirishima are destroying the villains as usual. Nothing really goes differently here, just that Bakugo has more experience, so the villains are more easily taken care of. So we move over to the central area of USJ. Tenya Lida manages to escape as usual, allowing him to go and inform the UA teachers of this incident. Aizawa as usual faces off against Shigaraki, and Aizawa is not suited for group fights, so Shigaraki takes the opportunity and decays Aizawa's arm. It was a painful sight, and Aizawa will struggle here, though Aizawa does land a pretty clean blow on Shigaraki. However, Shigaraki is completely fine. Aizawa doesn't have any strength enhancements anyways. As Aizawa continues to struggle, Shigaraki decides to call in the big guns, aka his Nomu, his pet Nomu, and the Nomu immediately runs forward and completely batters Aizawa, knocking his head onto the floor, crushing his bones, completely destroying Aizawa. Aizawa was completely out of commission at this point, gravely injured. He couldn't even move. This point in time is where the trio, Trunks, Midoriya, and Sui arrive on the scene. Trunks saw Aizawa in a precarious situation. There was no way he was gonna hesitate any longer as he rushes forward at intense speed, completely knocking the Nomu away. The Nomu had half its body obliterated by Trunks' punch. Shigaraki was kinda annoyed at this point. More cannon fodder to feed to his Nomu? Well, whatever. He tells the Nomu to just kill everyone at the scene right away, as the Nomu displays a shocking ability, the ability to regenerate, as he regenerates half his body almost instantaneously. This gives Trunks a bit of PTSD. I mean, remember a villain in the Buu saga that can, regenerate Super Buu, the one that turned them all into candy? Yeah, Trunks ain't having that. So Trunks immediately rushes forward again and knocks the Nomu away, this time with much more force, as he launches another ki blast straight towards the Nomu as the Nomu was flying away, and the ki blast explodes the Nomu in mid-air. The Nomu, just like that, he was completely wiped out and eradicated. Shigaraki was infuriated. Had his sensei lied to him? How could his pet Nomu, his trump card, how could he die just like that? Was this kid really that strong? As Shigaraki scratches his neck in anger, Trunks rushes forward and hands Aizawa over to Midoriya, telling Midoriya to take care of Aizawa as he rushes forward to take care of the remaining villains. However, before Trunks can rush to Shigaraki, Kurogiri has already whopped both him and Shigaraki away, recognizing Trunks as a huge threat. Just like that, Trunks has saved the day, and this is the point where All Might arrives and realizes, well, there wasn't much work to do, just some remaining weak villains that even the students could take care of. Rest of the UA reinforcements arrive as well with Tenya Lida and just cleans up the rest of the mess. Back in the bar where Shigaraki and Kurogiri await Sensei's orders, Shigaraki was lying on the floor, pissed off. Had his sensei lied to him? Wasn't his Nomu supposed to take down All Might, and yet it was defeated by a mere student? And honestly, All For One is pretty intrigued. This Trunks was really strong for his age. Looks like he had to make a few changes to his plans, as he smiles devilishly. And this is where we'll leave off for now. What plans does All For One have for Trunks now that Trunks has revealed that he was supremely strong? Will Trunks be able to survive All For One's plans? Will Trunks best All For One? Or will All For One's plans come to fruition? Well, these are all questions we'll answer in the next part on What If Dragon Ball Super met My Hero Academia.